I really hate that she kissed her brother. This book could have been an email. Single dad extraordinaire. Howdy my loves, welcome back to my channel. The video we're doing today is finishing every series that I am in the middle of. This is inspired by Alexa Ray, who has done so many of these videos and I eat them up every time. I actually just finished a series that I had been putting on for a while, which was the ACOTAR series. I hadn't read A Court of Silver Flames, but it inspired me to think about what other series I just haven't finished, and I have so many candidates. The first series that I am attempting to finish, the Mile High Windy City series. 2 books in this series that I haven't read. Don't ask me why. I read this series out of order. I read Mile High. I gave it 4.25 stars. I don't know why everyone hates on this book. I love it. I love Stevie and Xander's. It was enjoyable, not a 5-star read, but very enjoyable. I ended up reading Caught Up, which is I wrote Single Dad Extraordinaire, Single Dad and Nanny trope. And then I ended up reading Play Along, Isaiah Rhodes, The Man You Are. 5 stars. That book was amazing. That is my favorite book out of the series. Kennedy and Isaiah, the way he treated Kennedy should be studied. And for some reason, I just have not got around to reading The Right Move with Ryan Shea. I have heard that this is everyone's favorite man, that this is everyone's favorite book. Cannot believe that anybody would be better than Isaiah Rhodes, but I'll let Ryan Shea give him a run for his money. We'll see. And I'm really excited because I know that Indy was introduced in book 1, and I believe she threw up on Ryan's shoes because she was so drunk. And I believe the premise is fake dating, roommate trope. Intrigued to see how that is gonna play out. I'm so excited to read this book, and because I just read all the ACOTAR books, like I really need a romance palette cleanser. And one more book from this series, Rewind It Back. This was a birthday present to me. I'm so excited. Rio's novel, and I believe he was one of the friends from book 1 that was introduced. Basically complaining about the fact that he was 27 and single, check. And he was like the last person in his friend group to not have anyone. Check, check, check. I'm really excited to read this relatable content. It's 2 in the morning. Don't even care. He just told her that he learned sign language so that he could tell her dad himself that he's in love with her. Ryan Shea? Let me repeat that. Not only learn sign language, he's having weekly calls with her mom to learn sign language so that he can communicate with her family properly. What are my dating standards after that? The chances I find anyone even as good, half as good as Ryan Shea. Shouldn't have read this book. I'm actually late to my brother's graduation, but we have The Right Move in my purse so I can read. I finished The Right Move last night at around 2:30 in the morning. I stayed up until 2:30 in the morning to finish this book because it was so good. Did not think that I would love anyone as much as Isaiah Rhodes, but Ryan Shea is such a good book boyfriend. Truly, he was every single love language. The top one for me was when he said that he learned sign for her family because her dad is deaf. He was doing video calls with her mom weekly to learn how to sign for the dad. He said the first thing that he learned to sign was how to ask the dad's permission to marry Indy. And that was when they weren't even officially dating. He paid for her fertility treatments. And she was like, I told you I didn't want anybody covering that for me. And he was like, well, I don't count because it's not just your family, it's my family too. That's gonna be our family. He bought a house for her. I think this is really telling is how he treated her when they were fighting. He was so proud of her for standing up for herself, knowing that she had to think about some things. And when she was staying at Rio's house, he literally instructed him on how to make coffee for her so that she still had it in the morning. He had groceries delivered to his apartment because Indy's vegetarian, and he was giving Rio instructions on what to cook, how to make her coffee in the morning so that she could be comfortable. He then had Rio's broker bring her to the house so that he could show her all of the rooms he had for their children. I have never been so giggly happy reading a book like this. He was just very attentive and very considerate of her, and absolutely raised the bar and raised the standards for everyone. And I don't think it should come as a shock. I actually rated this book 5 stars, and that doesn't happen very often. I am so happy that I read this. Finally know Ryan Shea. I understand why everyone sings their praises. He went high up on my book boyfriend list, top 10 at least. Next book that we are going to be reading, because I'm not done with the Windy City series, we have 1 book left. I can't can't believe I'm gonna be done with this series, but I know that there's more to come, which makes me happy. I'm gonna be reading Rewind It Back by Liz Tom Ford. So this is book number 5 in the series. This is the last one. It's about Rio, who was very prominent in The Right Move. So I'm very, very excited. Finished Rewind It Back. 5 stars. Nobody is shocked more than me. Second chance romance. Hate it every time. I did not expect this yearning devastation of a book that just absolutely did it for me. So sorry that I barely updated you on it because I finished it in one day. It was so good. I'm so tired. I have a migraine because last night I stayed up until 1 in the morning to read like 150 pages of this book, and then today I killed it. And this is how you should do second chance romance, okay? There was no cheating between the main characters. There were painful situations like that only amplified the yearning. They didn't do anything to truly hurt each other. If anything, the distance made them very sweet on each other. Like, because what do you mean he bought her dream house for her even though he was mad at her? What do you mean that he got himself tattooed for her? What do you mean that his hockey jersey number is her birthday? What do you mean that he kept all of the cassette tapes that she made with their songs on it from the time they were 12 to the time that they were 19 and 20. Like, this book was so emotional, and I think this was so different from the other Windy City series books in like the best way. I thought the writing was so good. I hate second chance romance, like truly. It is my least favorite trope because it's always like a miscommunication or like cheating or something terrible happened. I was really nervous for like the climax of this book where we unravel what exactly happened, but I think that Liz Tom Ford did such a good job of revealing that scene. I thought that the reveal happened pretty organically and the flashback scenes were mostly happy. The trope of him being unable to sleep unless he's with her, and don't even get me started on the spice. The spice was great too. Scared because what I do when I finish a series, I do this on my TikTok. I'll link it down below if you want to follow me on there, but on my TikTok, I usually will rank a series like best to least best. I'm so confused as to what number 1 is. The fact that my last 2 reads were 5 stars because this series, unexpected. I normally don't do that. I'm very picky with my 5 stars. I just couldn't believe it. So now I have to decide which is the best between Play Along, this one, Rewind It Back, and The Right Move. I'm definitely sad that the series is over, even though I know that we'll still be seeing these characters again because Emmett's book is coming out. Here's my commitment to the bit, okay? Because I'm so obsessed with Age Gap Romance. The first thing I read in this book, Emmett's little snippet in the back, because I'm so excited for his and Reese's book. So I know that that's coming. I think it's coming out early next year. And then they also heavily set up the next series, which is about the Wilder brothers. So Ren Wilder was the roommate of Hallie in this book. She has a bunch of brothers, and it was said at the end of the book that they all moved back to California and they're all in professional sports. So like Liz Tom Ford is like, I think gearing up for her next series. I am excited, but I'm just gonna miss this series so much. What gives me a lot of hope about like this book is that like her writing got so much better compared to like book 1 that like I can't wait to see what she does in the future because I just absolutely ate this book up. The Windy City series is complete for this video. So what we are going to be reading next is Reckless. I have read Powerless, but I have not read Reckless. I haven't read Fearless. I've heard really bad things about this one, but then really good things about the third one. But that could also be misleading because if you didn't like this one, hardly a chance that you would continue on to the third. It's definitely biased. I had some problems with book 1 because I thought that the rule making for the magic was super random, but I did find the relationship, like the romance and the tease of that, to be very compelling. I thought that the action scenes were cool. I always love a good romantasy including supernatural abilities. I always like that trope. I have hopes for the entertainment factor of the rest of the series. So we are starting book 2 and then we are going to read book 3 later. finished Reckless, which is book number 2 in the Fearless trilogy. I really had high hopes for this, not like in the sense that I thought it would be a 5-star read. I really didn't think so, because book 1 set the tone. I knew what I was going into, but I thought it'd be entertaining, or at least as entertaining as book 1. Nope, this book could have been an email. This book I feel should not have existed. Not that it was super offensive, but just that it was boring. There was a lot of parts where I was like, this literally could have been included in book 1 or in book 3. The plot of this book was literally Peyton and Kai chasing each other, which would have been fine, except they kept catching up to each other and they kept putting each other's knives to their throat, and nothing would happen because they were in love with each other, and then they would let each other go, they would escape, they would find each other again. It just felt like the same issue over and over again, and it was really tiresome. On top of that, none of the fight scenes were as compelling as book 1 because number 1, we didn't have a competition. Number 2, we had far less characters than book 1. Number 3, there were no supernatural powers because the landscape of this story is a city with no supernatural characters, and therefore Kai has no one to feed off of, and so everyone is just powerless for this book. Book 1 definitely wasn't 5 stars. I gave it 4 stars, but like it was entertaining in that sense. And I really like supernatural stories because of the power development and the different ways that people can utilize their supernatural abilities. And even the bombshell of Hayden finding out that she's adopted, guessed it. The second bombshell was the fact that the king made up the illness that the ordinaries have that basically affects the powered individuals. The fact that those 2 bombshells came at the same time from the same source just kind of pissed me off. Like those 2, if spread apart, could have been good conflict for the main characters, for Kai and Peyton to kind of chew on. But the fact that they came from the same source and it was an accidental discovery, it wasn't even like I'm searching for the truth, like I need to find evidence. I wish that this story had been Peyton like actively trying to find evidence to bring to Kai. The fact that like they found out accidentally because her father wrote it in his journal, and not only was she not reading it on purpose, she was trying to use the paper for kindling for a fire. It felt like the author knew that those tidbits needed to be included and that she wanted that to be included, but didn't know how to organically integrate it, and therefore it just seemed so weird and out of place. There were some parts that were redeemable, like there were some really good quotes from Kai and Peyton about like, you know, romantic tension. I will say though that I felt way more compelled about their monologues and their inner dialogues about their loved ones and losing them and cherishing them and wishing they could see them again, more than I did about their love for each other at most points. We end with the bombshell that Kit is going to marry Peyton. Just a note on that, his chapters gave me nothing other than making me upset that he was littering. Am I supposed to feel bad for him because he's purposefully getting rid of food? That's just wasteful. And also poor Gail, like she's working so hard to make him food and then she's worried about him because that's like her baby, and then he's just throwing it out the window. Like I don't understand the purpose of saying that. I'm assuming that he proposed to Peyton because he wants to form an alliance and stop the hatred between the elites and the ordinaries, to like stop the fighting so that nothing like this ever happens again. And I like that, but I wish there was more build up to it in the chapters. He just seemed really lost and kind of like dazed, which like I understand because his father died. I wish there was more foreshadowing towards his final move, which was to propose to Peyton. Overall, I gave this 3 stars. Nothing about it offended me, which is the only reason I would have dropped it to 2 stars. It was just kind of meh. I'm on vacation, and the book that I brought with me, Fearless, is book number 3. And I heard that a lot of people love this book. Honestly, it was giving me FOMO, and that's the reason that I bought this. I just finished book 2 like a couple weeks ago, and while that wasn't my favorite, it definitely ended in a cliffhanger, and I do want a resolution to that. And I'm definitely curious to see where we go with the fact that your new queen is set to be a very ordinary person, and how that lends itself to how they treat ordinary individuals in their kingdom from now on. I am really excited about like the warfare, the political moves, and obviously the romance. Kai Azur is a yearner, and I love that. I'm in the Philippines right now, and I'm going to be reading this while I'm on vacation as much as I can. Ladies and gents, because I'm home and it is August, happy Taylor Swift season, I figured it's time for me to make some progress on Fearless. I am currently after the first trial, and I'm waiting with bated breath to figure out if Peyton contracted rabies, which she should have with the amount of bats she came in contact with. Let's see what happens after her first trial. you guys an update on Fearless. 55% of the way through, and I like this book a lot more than I did book 2. Really thought book 2 was just like a waste, and I still believe that. I like the revisiting of the trials, but this time it's to prove her loyalty to Ilya and how good of a queen she can be. The plot twist that I think we're heading towards is pretty good. Did not see that coming. I actually really like that. I was like wondering why we were getting the perspective of the king who Peyton killed. I was wondering why we were getting his chapters. I was like, why do I care? I hate this guy, it does not matter. But did not realize it was leading up to a huge plot twist, which is that Peyton is the ordinary child that he and the first queen had together, and he wanted her gone. He got rid of her. Number one, she was ordinary, so to him that was like pathetic. And also his wife had died, so like she wasn't around to like give an opinion, and also that was like the love of his life. His counselor or something, his advisor, was like, well, my daughter just had a baby. The father's not in the picture. You could just say that like you married her and that this is your son. This is so messy, and it's giving me like Mortal Instruments a little bit. Peyton is actually related to Kit, and Kit and Kai are actually not brothers at all. But Kit sort of had feelings for Peyton, but not really. Peyton never had feelings for Kit. But that was actually a good plot twist because I did not see that coming at all. I can't wait for them to figure that out, because that would mean that Peyton is actually rightfully so the queen of Ilya. Okay, I just got my nails done. Hello, summer nails. But I was also reading Fearless, and I am about 65% of the way through. We're at the third trial where Peyton and Kai have to fight each other to the death. Starts crying and assumes that she's gonna have to kill Kai because like it's a fight to the death. My thought is, bold of you to think that you're gonna kill the enforcer who has full access to everyone's powers everywhere. Girl, you're gonna die. Finished Fearless, so I wanted to give you guys an update. I ended up rating this book 3 stars. I thought that this conclusion had some good and some bad in it. The good parts were the plot twist, did not see that coming. I really like the fact that the plague was man-made. I also like the idea that Kit was trying to infect neighboring cities to make them elite as well. But what I didn't like was the messiness of the reveals of these plot twists. I feel like Lauren Roberts, like I hope that she continues with other different series. Like I feel like the ideas are good, but the execution is not as good. This is really demonstrated with how all of the plot twists are reveals. Like for example, the fact that Callum is actually Peyton's father, her mother was the queen. I feel like that was such a good plot twist. Did not see that coming. However, I feel like the way it was revealed was so cheesy. Kit gave her like a jewelry box that like had little notes in it. The note thing was used a lot. Like that's how she found out that her father wasn't her father. That's how she found out who her real parents were. I was like, how many notes is this girl gonna get until she stops reading them and she's like, I can't take it anymore. I'm just gonna burn them all. It's a little bit repetitive, and also I feel like that could have been found out in such a more suspenseful way, especially because of the fact that she's supposed to be a psychic, fake psychic. Her job is to be extremely observant to make sure that people think she's elite. That's how she was brought up. That's how she was raised. And also the fact that she did not realize this whole time, like she is ordinary, right? And every single person in this kingdom has powers, all right? She never questioned why she lived this long. I wasn't sure if the fact that she lived this long was due to poor writing and for the sake of the story, or because there was a reason for it. I feel like if this was more realistic, Peyton, because she's so observant, would have questioned why exactly she hadn't been taken out sooner. Literally, Edric clocked her the minute he saw her. He was like, this is my ordinary daughter. And like, I feel like she should have known that like, there's no reason she should have lived. The story was really bumpy. Like there were really good parts and then there were really lame parts. And Kai and Peyton were really cute. I liked the yearning. My favorite quotes in this book are from Kai, and I think the yearning was really great. However, because of the plot twist that she is related to the queen, I really hate that she kissed her brother. She literally kissed her brother. She kissed and married her brother. Like I thought we were over this phase with the Mortal Instruments being phased out. Also, at the end, it has like a moment with death. Where did this death come from? Like why is he familiar with her? Why is he calling her Mara? I just think it was strange. Like the whole time he was like mumbling to himself. I think we're supposed to assume that that is death. Of course, the novella was announced and that is about death, being intrigued with Kit. Don't really like that. Like I understand that maybe Lauren Roberts like got attached to him and wants him to have a semi-happy ending. I just don't like that because that wasn't an element that was existent throughout the books. They weren't talking about like death as a concept. They never talked about the afterlife. This whole story is very like atheist and like they don't really discuss gods like that. And so the fact that now they're introducing death as a person, like it just took me out, and I was like, this is not necessary. We should have just had Kit dead, and that was that. Like, not everyone needs to have a sort of conclusive ending. We could have just had Kai and Peyton mourn him and them name their child Kit like they did, and that would have been sufficient for him, because like in the end, like, it proves that his brother really loved him and Peyton wanted to honor him. And so if we're looking at the series as a whole, because now all 3 books are done, I would say that my favorite was the first one. Powerless was still really, really good. Reckless would be my least favorite, and Fearless is right in the middle. I read book 1 of Not in Love, and book 2 just came out, which is Problematic Summer Romance. Now, I am an Ali Hazelwood stan. I love her so much, and I have very little restraint when it comes to reading her books, which is why I had so little clips of me reading this book. I am so sorry. This book came into my possession. I read it in a night. It was so good. I was so happy with that because book 1 did not fulfill me. It's actually my least favorite Ali Hazelwood book. Book 1 is basically about these 2 competing scientists who are working in this corporation, and there's basically a hostile takeover. Eli Kilgore and his company are trying to take over the company that Rue is working for, and she's very loyal to the top woman in that company. And that was very like insta-lusty. They met on like a dating app, but they were enemies. Like, it had the formula, but I'm not super into insta-lust. And also they were very trauma bondy. Ever since book 1, I have wanted the story of this couple because the hints that were dropped in that book, irresistible to me. Problematic Summer Romance is between Maya Kilgore and Connor Harkness. Maya is the sister of Eli from book 1. She's 23 years old, and Harkness is the best friend and co-worker to Eli. So basically it's age gap romance and older brother's best friend. There were so many hints to this in book 1, guys. I was in love. And so the reason that they are reconvening is because Eli and Rue are getting married in Italy, and of course these 2 are invited. The beginning was a little slow. I was a little scared. I just didn't expect the format of this book. I really thought it was going to be like a culmination of a lot of tension, and this is going to be like their first attempt at being together. When in actuality, this was almost like a second chance romance. So the story starts where they're meeting in Italy again. They've known each other for years, but Connor had no idea that she really existed until she was about 20 years old. They meet, they become really best friends, and then they don't talk for 10 months, and you don't know why. And then they reconvene in Italy. After they go through, you know, the whole setup of them seeing each other again, there are flashbacks, how their relationship developed, and the flashback scenes, guys, so cute. I think the setup of it was really cool because other than the first meeting, every other flashback was over the phone or through text message. Never met each other in person. Connor thought it was crossing a line for them to meet each other in person. It was very like slow burny, like it was so nice. But until 50%, like nothing really happened. And I was like, what is happening? But then after 50%, Connor Harkness dialed up the yearning. All of the little moments of him watching over her, over him protecting her, everything that he did to make her more comfortable, more happy over the years, just came to the surface, and it was so, so good. I really loved it. And I will say the only reason I didn't give it 5 stars, because I gave it 4.25 stars, was because the switch from Connor, because he's grappling with the fact that she is super young, and he's like, I don't want to take advantage of you. That's the reason why I didn't do anything when we first met. And she has no problems with that. She's like, I don't care, I'm an adult. And he's like, I know that I'm in love with you. He basically professes his love after they have this huge fight. The switch for him between grappling with it so hard and him finally confessing, I feel like maybe because Ali Hazelwood usually has it where the guy kind of knows all along and he's waiting for the woman to catch up. But in this one, it's Maya waiting for Connor to catch up. I thought that that part was a little abrupt, but ultimately really good story. It was hilarious, like Ali Hazelwood books always are. She's so sarcastic and so intelligent with her humor. I always appreciate it. Like, I'm very dry with my humor. I like it when it's super witty, dry, not a lot of physical comedy. Like, I really, really like her sense of humor. It's always so good. I really liked the super cute romantic moments, and I just have to read you this one quote. I'm not afraid of you. I'm afraid of myself and of the person I become when I'm around you. He leans over me, crowds me. I have never wanted anything as desperately, as ungovernably, as persistently as I want you. Not a single goddamn thing. Not my dead mother back, not revenge, not the well-being of the people I love, not professional success, not even my own happiness. Absolutely nothing has consumed me as mercilessly as you have. And because of that, I ended up rating this 4.25 stars. Amazing summer book if you're looking for like a cutesy summer book to devour. This is a super good beach read. There's a lot of like beachy scenes. They're in Sicily. It's hot. It's a wedding. It's cool. They have a lot of good food mentioned. But this was such a good interlude from the fantasy books I've been reading. Awesome, awesome read. For now, this video is done. I wrapped up all of the series I intended to for this video. If you wanted to see another video of me finishing series that I am in the middle of, please let me know. I definitely have more series to get through. I love you guys. See you in the next one. Bye.
Look at her style from the street. Look at her style from the ghetto.